Well, hello there. My name is HW, and thank you so much for watching Tone Junkie TV. My friends, it's time. Today we're talking about 5 essential delays for the Kemper, and these are the presets. Now, we've previously put out these delays on some rigs in a video that we previously did on the channel called 5 essential delays for the Kemper or something. But these are the presets, and as we're building up TJ's tone tools, which are free downloadable presets that you can use in Rig Manager and add to your own effects and just building performances and stuff, I wanted to add these because I think they're a great starting point. So first up, we have a very simple delay, and I want to talk about it for 1 minute. It is called Slapback. It's just a slapback delay. Here's what it is. You can see my screen in Rig Manager here. I've got the time at 81 milliseconds. I've got the feedback at 17. Now here is the trick to slapback delay. It's going to be 81. It's going to be anywhere below 120, maybe even 150. You could call slapback milliseconds. It's supposed to imitate this very immediate single repeat delay sound, and that's why I have the feedback over here at 17%. Mix for slapback, I think you want the mix anywhere between 75% and 100%. For the Kemper, which on some devices can be 50-50. It means that your delay sound is pretty much just as loud as the rest of your signal. If you're dealing with a little bit too much low end, you could use the high and low cuts. I like to cut a little bit of high end. But other than that, everything else you can just sort of leave alone. I've got everything else almost sort of in the off position. And it's going to sound like this. The Sooze on that white telly gets me every time, you guys. The thing about slapback delay is you really want to notice how it's sort of blending the lines between reverb and delay. Now, it's a very country, very sort of dated sound. It's a very specific thing, and it's kind of genre specific. And so don't expect that this is going to be the delay that you need all the time for everything. It's just something to have in your arsenal. And to me, it's really genre, part song specific kind of thing. But the next delay is sort of like something that works similar to a slapback, but I call it rock slap. This is like the slapback if you aren't playing country. So let's check it out. Rock slap is going to look like this. We've increased the time now to about 200 milliseconds. The feedback's at about 30%. So now we're getting a little more than one repeat. We're getting into that second repeat. And we brought the mix down a little bit below what I think is essential for a true slapback. Everything else is about the same. I did darken this one up just a little bit. And everything else is pretty much off. There's a tiny bit of grit on it just to give it a certain dirtier sound. But this rock slap, to me, this is really a nice fattening, thick delay that you can put on your guitar that almost gives it the rock version of a slap in that you hear this delay sound coming in, you hear this like slappy backy thing, but it doesn't sound like, cosmic country with distortion or something. It sounds big, it sounds full, it sounds like a guitar in a space. We're still sort of blurring reverb and delay, but have a listen. It's a really thick, big sound. I think this is perfect if you're a single guitar in a band or a trio. You just need to sound big and awesome, and the listener can't really put their finger. Is that delay? Is that verb? Is it both? Is that a single guitar? What's that effect that's on it? So you can hear right there, it's got that slappy back quality when the Sooze stops playing, but when you're just playing through, it has this more ambient sound. It just creates some space. It doesn't quite sit on top of you as much because we did pull the mix down a little, but it's still very audible all the time. Okay, so this next delay is the dual delay. This is all of the praise and worship sound sort of fit into this delay sound here. It's very edge, and we even put it on a Strat so you can hear that. It's a dotted eighth and a quarter. This is very typical stuff to have both of these going at once. So you're going to get this longer delay that sort of is going to give more length, and you're going to get this dotted thing, which is going to be the more syncopated answering back, sort of like call and response type thing. It's really just going to put it in the edge territory, the praise and worship sound thing. Feedback 55%, so we've got quite a bit of bouncing around going on, quite a bit of repeating of that delay. Delay bounce, we've got them both even volume here. We're not bouncing one over the other one. Mix, it's at 90% almost. I mean, it's 90% as loud as the initial note that you play on the guitar. So there's all sorts of push and pull from that delay. If we were to up this reverse mix, it would get a lot more ambient, but we're keeping it very rhythmic. Listen to the Sooze on this Strat sort of lock in. Now look at this high cut. We're bringing the highs down a little bit, and that's going to help the Strat just say right ahead a little bit in terms of EQ, just right above it a little bit. That bright Strat is going to sit right above those repeats. We could even make it darker if we want. Listen to Sooze lock into this rhythm. This is some nice stuff. Okay, this next delay I call the solo delay. This is just a very typical studio kind of trick that you put on a relatively dry solo guitar. You've got this big solo guitar that's about to say something, and you want to put a little bit of something on it, right? You don't want it completely bone dry. So this is like the kind of delay that's often put on a solo guitar where you don't want a big delay effect. It's not like the dual delay where, it's as much a part of the part as the guitar itself. Like the delay is just as much an instrument as a guitar when you're using that dotted eighth and doing that kind of thing. Here, we're looking for the delay to kind of sit back and almost not be heard. And so this solo delay it's a delay that's there, but it's a little bit back. It's a little bit understated, and it's designed. You're going to hear it in isolation, but in a mix, you almost can't tell it's there. But it just takes the guitar from being bone dry to really nicely sitting. What we're going to do is put on a quarter note delay, so it's longer repeats, so you have time to play eighth notes, sixteenths, phrasing, all the stuff. It doesn't get in your way. Feedback's at 28, so we're getting not much more than one audible repeat. We kind of get another one coming in behind it. Mix is low, 30%. It's behind that guitar signal, and then we're really not doing anything else to it. Check it out. Okay, now last but not least, the biggest delay, the most ambient, the hugest, it's the quad delay, and it's enormous. It's like 4 delays running at once. It's just ridiculous. You've got all this stuff. We've got all the mixes up. They're panned to one side or the other. You're probably hearing it in mono. But we've got some modulation, some flutter. You can come look at this. It's huge, and it's the only effect you need. Now, in this demo you're about to hear, we added this very subtle quad room, and you can see this 1 second delay time. 1 second decay time on this verb in a small room, pre-delay 40 seconds. The point is, this quad room we've only given you because what it does is it just kisses the quad delay and just smooths it out a little bit. And the quad delay already sounds like a delay reverb together. This quad room just kisses it and makes it sound a little more natural, like you're hearing that effect in a small room. You almost can turn it off and you don't lose any of the ambience. But check out the quad delay and the quad room together. They're both in the Tone Tools. It's big, it's spacious, and what's really cool about this one is it has the feeling of like a pad playing behind you. And the reason it does is check out this high cut. We're cutting significantly, almost down to 200 hertz, even a little bit lower at 1800. And it gives it this sort of sound where it's this swelly kind of thing behind you. And that's one of the reasons we're able to get the mix so high and the feedback so high and just have this thing always playing with you and behind you that just sort of sums the tone of all your notes together into this dark, warm, just swirly present type of paddy thing that you play over. It's really, really awesome. You guys, check that one out. It's my favorite of all of these. Maybe the Rock Slap is my favorite because it's probably the most useful, and a lot of people don't use a delay for that purpose, but it really works well. Hey, I hope this is helpful. You can get these in the TJ Tone Tools download. It's part of the Tone Junkie free pack. And hey, if you get anything out of these videos, like, subscribe. It really helps the YouTube and the Facebook algorithm. I've been HW. Check these out, you guys. They're part of the arsenal, and you need these tone tools for building the best tones on the Kemper. Am I right? HW, out.